Time for our weekly appointment on BBC One with Christopher Price and Liquid News.
Liquid News with Christopher Price.
Good evening. These are the week's headlining stories. From suspect to saviour, ITV banks on Barrymore to stop the ratings rot. Ridicule is something to be scared of. Adam Ant leads the latest 80s rebirth. And mock bars on display. We visit the Big Brother Russia house. Hello, my name is Christopher. Good to have you with us. In the next 20 minutes, the week's best entertainment news stories is culled from our nightly live show over on BBC Choice. Our top story on this edition, Michael Barrymore's show business rehab is almost complete. ITV1 is in big ratings trouble, and they've brought back Barrymore from the TV wilderness to front a new series. He joins veterans like Cilla Black and the two Deses, Lynham and O'Connor, as well as a raft of imported scheduling tricks as ITV struggles to stop the primetime switch-off. Max Flint presses pristine button 3 for Liquid News.
This has been the public face of Barrymore over the past year. After a man was found dead in his pool, he's been in and out of police stations and in tears all over the papers. It's a far cry from being the face of light entertainment at ITV.
No need to start flitting all over the stage. After all, I'm the fairy.
In the old days, a new series of Barrymore would mean the champagne corks were popping all day here at ITV Network Centre. Not anymore. They seem a bit embarrassed to have Barrymore back, but they need him because of the ratings. So while I just celebrate Michael's return with this cheap white wine, you read this statement from ITV1 about what they think. Hardly enthusiastic, was it? £1.59. Welcome back, Michael. Maybe I'll suggest it for their parties because ITV1's drinks cabinet is bare at the moment. Falling ratings means less advertising cash, and it's back to the old guaranteed faces like Barrymore, Black and O'Connor. Now this is the BBC's scary ratings machine, not Fiona the computer. These bubbles, you can see the audience is defecting from ITV to BBC. These are the 5 channels, and that's probably somebody's heartbeat. Now schedulers watch this to see when people turn over, and they use it to try and stop people turning over. Tricks you may have noticed include running programmes late so you miss the beginning of other shows and squeezing the credits into a box. A lot's happened in Barrymore's life since he was last doing My Kind of Music. A lot's also happened in TV. BBC One now kicks ITV1's butt on Saturdays. And if Barrymore doesn't buck the trend, he won't be around much longer. Max Flint, BBC News.
My featured artiste tonight is absolutely no stranger to mass audience entertainment. She is Dannii Minogue.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
You're looking perky. I like it. And my gimmick-free news commentator is the journalist and author, Mr. Ed Docks. Ed is a very welcome stand-in, at short notice, may I say, for Pete Waterman, who's stricken with shingles.
Shingles?
Have you ever had shingles, Dannii?
No.
No, it's not nice at all. Mal Barrymore, not back to do Strike It Lucky, obviously, but you used to work at the Express, which is the protector of moral values for the country.
Yeah.
Do you think Barrymore should be back?
I have to say, with my old Express hat on, probably there's room for argument. I mean, obviously what was going on in his house was, at the very least dodgy. But on the other side, he's not been convicted of anything. There's been no kind of reason to stop his career. That is his career. So, why can't the guy go back to what he does? That's his job. I mean, he's not broken the law. He's not been found to have broken the law. So, on the one, I mean, the bigger question is, why do ITV need him? I mean, it's a kind of worrying thing if they've got to put him on and they've got to, he's the only one they've got, kind of, feels to me.
Ant and Dec haven't reached puberty yet, and they can't stay
up
that
no one else.
late. Bless them, they're fantastic. But their things haven't dropped yet. We seem to forgive Barrymore, don't we, all the time? I mean, whatever he does, we come back to him and we still kind of embrace him. Do you have any idea or any thoughts about why that might be, what it is about the man?
People love celebrity, but he's one that people think are kind of like, he's cuddly and people want to like him. And, probably huge pop career after this.
You reckon? You'd be duetting with him.
When in doubt, release a song.
And you've got a new single out as well.
Funny you should say that.
You're not in trouble at the moment, though, are you? You haven't done anything or run away from any crime scene, have you?
No.
Well, I take that as a no. Have you ever been in prison, by the way?
I have.
What for?
Not convicted for anything.
No.
I've been in prison. There was a TV show in Australia and they did a live, it was like the big Saturday night show. They did a live show from the highest high security prison and I was one of the performers there and it was scary.
So it wasn't for like urinating in public or anything like that?
No, I wasn't.
You don't get sent to prison for that, Christopher, it's fine.
Well, on that bombshell, we're going to move on very well. Up next, Danny's top 3 chart attack, Robbie's switchboard jammer, and King gets banged up. First, though, Genesis have joined the condemnation of Jonathan King's monstrous reign of perversion following his conviction for sordid attacks on young boys. The shamed Pop Svengali is beginning a 7-year jail sentence for molesting teenage boys. King came up with the name Genesis when he spotted the band, led by Peter Gabriel, back in the 70s and went on to produce their first album. Today, Phil Collins gave his reaction to King's conviction exclusively to Liquid News.
It's pretty disgusting that someone can do that kind of stuff and think that he's above the law and get away with it and keep flaunting it and be stupid enough to think that it's just going to go away. It's very strange.
Other of the week's stories. It was billed as One Night with Robbie Williams, but it turned into a swear when you're winning viewer booer. The BBC issued an apology after hundreds complained about Rupert Everett's comparing of the Robsters' Albert Hall show. The Saturday night airing on BBC One prompted a massive 500 formal objections about his choice fruity language. That compares to just 9 complaints about swearing over the whole of the corporation's output between July and September.
Are you enjoying the evening so much that you would, despite whatever sexual orientation you came in the building with, like to get down on all fours and be royally by Mr. Williams?
There's just too much gayness on television, isn't there, Danny?
Oh, I don't know.
Ed?
Don't know. I think it's all right. Barrymore, Norton's just won a big prize.
That was an impersonation of Dick Emery you just did there, which I thought was lovely. Our feature guest tonight is a TV actress, presenter, a star of West End musicals. It's all true, isn't it?
Yes.
And a former Playboy centerfold. Nice. Dannii Minogue has also had 4 top 20 albums in the UK, and now she's back with a new single which is heading for a top 3 berth, according to the latest failed sales figures. It's true, isn't it? Top 3 going to go.
Yeah, at the moment the midweeks are. Very excited.
Who Do You Love Now?
Who Do You Love Now?
Here's the promo slice clip. Let's play. You're big there, aren't you? Look at that.
I know.
Do you like the look of yourself?
You're everywhere.
Does my bum look big?
I don't
That's
know.
all I want to know.
Yeah, does it? It doesn't.
No, it's fine.
Okay,
No, it's fine.
no,
We
it's
could have a
fine.
closer look if everyone else had a look. You're very happy with your body, aren't you, though?
Yeah, it's okay.
Well, we see it occasionally, don't we? You do
Occasionally.
saucy magazine shoots, as I like to call
You
it.
know, everyone does these days.
I
Christopher
don't.
doesn't.
Although I've had plenty of offers from Rhino today, they'd quite like to see me. And my bum does look big in this as well. But it's good that you're happy with your body, don't you think?
Yeah, I wish I was more fit.
I'm happy with it. I think it's cool.
What would you change if you could change anything?
I'd be taller.
But you're 5'2", aren't you?
5'2".
Yeah. It's 2 inches more than someone else.
And, you know, like, yeah, 4 inches.
Let's talk about the song, because that's why you're here.
Yeah.
Which is good. You seem to be very happy with kind of when you're doing dance music. It seems to be perhaps when you're happiest. Is that you yourself or the commercial reality of
I
Dannii
kind of
Minogue?
like all music, but I tend to listen mostly to dance music, like at home when I'm chilling or on the radio or whatever. And I think that's kind of what people see me doing, and it's nice to be accepted and embraced, you know, and having an identity. And I kind of want to be the club kid. That's what I want to be.
People in interviews, there's a whole wodge of stuff. Whenever they talk to you, they must mention Kylie to you for some Dickens reason. Is a sibling rivalry with you and your brother is what I want to know. Because, you know, he's a good-looking chap. There must be tension with you and your brother. I take it that's a no.
No.
Yeah, that's fine.
I just got distracted.
Yeah. Do you embrace the kind of back catalogue of your work, and are you quite happy with it, or do you not like it when you see
I
it?
don't believe in regrets. It's everything that you do to get where you are. Yeah. And, you know, in a few years' time, I'll be probably, you know, be like, did I do that show with that hairdo?
With that man?
Oh, my God! No, it's all good.
Look at you, you're doing patisserie there.
Yes.
What was that about?
In Gay Paris, TV presenting for BBC Holiday.
Will you be building a career musically? Because, I mean, why come back to this world, which is Posh versus Kylie, me versus Dale Winton, that kind of thing? Why come back to this world and have all the nonsense that you get with it?
I kind of feel like I've got a few things going on and I'll visit that. I still want to do the West End and do that kind of live performance. I want to do albums, I want to do movies. It's kind of just like one of the things that I do.
You see, you kind
it's
of
hard though, it's hard business.
Do you kind of enjoy the dancing side of it or the singing side of it more? Because it's kind of, I always think of you more as a dancer.
Well, yeah, I grew up more as a dancer, and I really do enjoy that. And whether I do it as a career, I love dancing. I make an effort to go and do that.
Just finally, you're wearing a strawberry edible thong.
Yes.
Something for Ed to
think about,
your
perhaps?
teeth. Something to later. Lovely. It's out at the moment. It's doing very well. I love this. I had a little bit too much to drink on Sunday, and I danced to it, which is a bit like rhinos mating, if you've ever seen it. But it's going in at number 3, isn't it? Could be higher, we hope.
I don't know, there's a battle going on, but it's all good, it's up there.
It's all good, that's what we like to hear. Both our guests staying with us. Next on this edition, big hair, shiny suits and stripy noses. 80s pop icons stand and deliver next. Ed, what were you doing in the 80s? Rent boy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unplug the jukebox and do yourself a favour, because Adamant, Spandau Ballet and Howard Jones, I love the chains, are throwing off their mental chains and dusting off their camp accessories for a nostalgic arena tour next year. It's fun, isn't it? Colin Patterson has this report for Liquid News.
'80s pop, so easy to mock, but in the Here and Now tour, it's a serious business. Whoever said ridicule was nothing to be scared of? Actually, he did.
I'm joining this tour called Here and Now, which is basically a lot of my contemporaries and friends from the 1980s era. Mainly pop, true pop.
He may look like Sylvester McCoy as Doctor Who, but this time traveller is Adam Ant. The tour will return him to the 1980s and a distant time when Howard Jones was a massive star on both sides of the Atlantic. Will you be wearing the keyboard with the guitar strap?
Well, the KX5, yeah, I've still got that, and I just brought... I actually bought the very last ones of those. They're clearing out the warehouse, and I got the last few.
Sadly, Jones's old dancer, Jed, will not be joining him on the tour. It's believed he's a delivery driver in Buckinghamshire. But one BBC religious presenter promises she won't disappoint.
So I'm doing I Want to Be Free, Thunder in the Mountains, It's a Mystery.
It's a mystery. Oh, it's a mystery.
Of course, a whole new generation know you as the voice of the Teletubbies. So if enough people shout for Teletubbies, say it-o.
Well, I don't...
But be careful when reminding Adam Ant of former glories. Now, Adam, we have a chandelier behind you.
No, stick it up your jacket. I'm not doing it. Stick it up your bum.
How tempting.
Yeah.
Prince Charming indeed. Colin Patterson, BBC News.
Dannii, did you hear that? I mean, you wouldn't be
I would
rude
say
like that.
bottom
You'd
myself.
say bottom. Some people would say a lot worse. Could we just hear it again, because I'm not exactly sure. What do you think he meant it? I'm not sure. Let's just run the clip again.
Just stick it up your jacket. I'm not doing it. Stick it up your bum.
That show business gone wrong, isn't it, there in a nutshell?
It's grim, isn't it, that 80s business? I'm wondering whether the 80s will ever come back. Looking at those clips, it's so awful, the hairdos. You know, like the 60s have repeated, the 70s have repeated, and there's even kind of an early 90s thing going on. But are we just going to never, ever do the 80s ever again? We're never going to think they're fashionable, we're never going to think they're cool, that's it, they're just finished.
Dannii, did you ever have bad hair in the 80s?
No.
I've had every bad hairdo. I'm proud of that.
Would you go back and because would you do a 90s tour? Because you obviously had hits then. Would you go back and sing your old stuff? You wouldn't, would you?
I think you always have to sing your old stuff, the hits, whenever you do concerts. I don't want to go to a concert and hear, like, you know, the new album that you don't know. I've got to do the old songs, but, you know, freshen them up and vamp them and restyle it.
Who was your big friend? You know, when you first came over here and you started appearing on Top of the Pops and all that stuff, did you have show business friends? Were you happy to see on Top of the Pops?
It took me ages to make friends in England because it was hard to get used to that kind of British reserved thing, which you kind of take as being rude when you're Australian because everyone's like, hi, how are you?
Can you just give us a name, perhaps? That's what I was looking for. Just give me a name.
No.
All right, fine. There's plenty more information about that and the rest of our show on our website. Have you visited it?
No.
I'm a regular visitor.
Plus a competition.
I can now, though.
We've got a competition. Get your hands off your thieving monkey. We are running a competition to win some shoddy, frankly, M&M prizes. Here we go. We've got soundtracks to his forthcoming movie, The Wash, plus DVDs and videos of the Slim Shady Show. I'm having problems with the S. I am turning into Ronan Keating as we speak. Go to bbc.co... Oh, my God, what is that? .co.uk/Liquid News and be a show business winner. Have you seen that picture of me? She's just sat on the throne back there.
That one.
It is the Duchess of Duke Street. That's what that reminds me of. More TV news on the way, including the least private shower cubicle anywhere in Moscow. He's won the Best Entertainer BAFTA for the past 2 years running, and now Graham Norton has thrust his award-winning hat into the international ring. His Channel 4 show, So Graham Norton, was presented with a prestigious Emmy at the annual Johnny Foreigner Shindig in New York. He looks like Adam Ant. ITV drama Dirty Trick, starring Martin Clunes, was named Best Drama, beating another homegrown nominee, Cold Feet. A tall firm which planned to charge TV fans £45 to watch Anna Ford eat spotted dick in the BBC canteen have been thwarted because of security fears. Here are the details. The company had advertised the canteen visit on its website as part of a BBC building tour. The corporation faces a Biff the Celeb and Soup Luncheon special because it couldn't guarantee enough celebrity lunches or the safety of the ones who did brave the so-called restaurant block. Who would you like to see in the canteen if you visited it, Dannii?
Well, I heard that J-Lo is...
Yeah, J-Lo.
You know, but I
Buttocks
don't think
on
you can
both tables.
fit that much muslin in the canteen. I think it could be a fire hazard.
See, this is why we love Dannii. Now, one final story. Russians are raising their vodka bottles to Moscow's version of Big Brother. No national stereotypes on this show. Contestants like Olga, Max and Margot are very familiar with each other as they strut around the Big Brother house with not even a fur muff to cover their altogether buff. Our Peeping Tomsky Moscow correspondent, Dasha Pushkova, has this story.
Это Кремль. Россия.
This signature tune makes half of the country drop everything and glue themselves to the TV screen. A reality show for the first time in Russia. The Russian version of Big Brother is called Behind the Glass and has top ratings on TV. It also gathers long queues not far from Kremlin, where the infamous transparent apartment with mirror walls is situated. It's the same format used all over the world. The winners here get a 2-room apartment in Moscow. Not such a big deal, but for the 20-year-old provincials, quite rewarding. For Alexander, this show is just a sport, but his real-life girlfriend refused to play along when the whole country watched him washing one of his roommates. As a result, Alexander dropped out of the show in order not to make his girlfriend suffer. His decision didn't save the relationship. He told me that he and his girlfriend took a time out, but from now on his life divides into before and after. You can also watch the show live 24 hours a day over the internet. So the internet fans were the first to learn about Max and Margot. After 2 weeks of life in a cage, they had sex. Now that is something to discuss. So who's going to be the winner? Whoever it is, the unofficial deal between the participants is sharing the money after selling the apartment. Another TV channel here is launching its own version of the show known in Britain as Survivor. 16 Russians are being flown to a remote island off the coast of Panama to fight for survival and the title of Last Hero. Dasha Pushkova, BBC News, Moscow.
Dannii, you collect Russian porn, don't you? No. Just time to say goodbye, and no message for Jonathan Ross? Yeah, that's a good one. Thank you very much for being here, Ed, and a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Good luck. We're back next week on BBC One and over on BBC Choice. Take care, goodbye.